Kit Harington shares his harsh take on the Jon Snow sequel. Good day, Westeros throne fans. Grab your cloaks, tighten your armor straps, and tell your dragon to stay off the furniture, because what I am about to say may shake your faith more than Bran becoming king. Kit Harington has finally spoken about the Jon Snow sequel, and his take is not warm, not comforting, and definitely not what many fans expected. His words landed like a spear thrown by the Night King. Direct, cold, and absolutely unforgettable. Before we break this down, do not forget to subscribe and click the notifications bell icon so you never miss a raven from beyond the wall. Our updates come hotter than dragon fire, even when the news is colder than Winterfell in a blizzard. So let us march north. For a long time, people talked about the Snow sequel like it was a ghost story. We heard rumors. We saw smoke. We watched interviews. But nothing concrete ever hit our screens. And then Kit Harington went on record with a tone that could freeze a White Walker mid-step. He said that when he thinks about Jon Snow's future, he sees pain. Not joy. Not redemption. Not a hero riding into a new dawn with a wolf and a smile. Pain. That is the word he used. Pain. He explained that Jon Snow did not walk beyond the wall as a free man having found peace. He walked as a man full of trauma, grief, emotional wounds, and a sense of deep punishment. Kit said Jon did not get a happy ending. He got an ending full of guilt that would follow him forever like shadow and snow. And right there, you could almost hear a whole army of fans whisper, yes, that makes perfect sense. Jon Snow is a man who did everything right, even when it hurt. He fought the dead, fought the living, loved a queen, and killed a queen. He lost family, lost identity, lost purpose. And his reward was exile. A quiet, frozen exile. That is the emotional fuel Kit was talking about. If Snow returns, he is not returning for a victory lap. He is returning to confront a life where every sunrise hurts. When Kit revealed this, he was not smiling, not joking. You could tell he has thought about this deeply. He has spent years living inside Jon Snow's head, and what he sees there is darkness. And here is where it gets even more interesting. Kit said that if the sequel ever happens, it needs to be honest. Brutally honest. Not fan service. Not feel-good fantasy. Brutal realism. He said, there is nowhere for Jon to go where he finds happiness. That sentence alone could be carved into the wall. But Kit did not stop at emotion. He talked about story. He said any sequel must be earned. Not casual. Not rushed. Earned. That means the writing has to be sharp, the stakes have to be real, and the story has to go beyond nostalgia. Because Jon is not a character who can live in nostalgia. He is defined by sacrifice. And sacrifice hurts. Kit also admitted something that caught everyone's attention. He said the team behind the spin-off worked on ideas. Not one idea. Ideas. Plural. Multiple concepts. Multiple drafts. They did not go into this with dry snow. They went in with fire. This was not a hobby conversation. It was development. Kit said he was part of it. Actively. He sat in rooms, talked through story points, tried to imagine the emotional arc. This is not just an actor waiting for a call. This is an actor shaping the future. But here comes the harsh part. He said there is no guarantee. No guarantee the spin-off will happen. No guarantee HBO will give it the green light. No guarantee that all the work they did will ever reach a screen. Kit said he is at peace with that. He would rather do nothing than do something that is not worthy. That is a pretty strong stance. A lot of actors would jump at the chance to return to the biggest role of their career. But Kit is looking at it from the inside. He knows the emotional pressure. He knows the expectations. He knows that if Snow returns, the whole world will be watching, ready to judge every frame. He said that anything less than excellent would be a disappointment. That right there tells you the tone. Dark. Serious. Not rushed. Not rushed at all. And yet, he also said something that lit a torch in the darkness. He said the story is there. A sequel could happen because there are unresolved threads. Jon's arc did not close. It cracked open. He said Jon's future is tragic. He said Jon is not a healed man. He said Jon will be wrestling with guilt and identity every single day. And he said that could make for incredible storytelling. Here is the hook. Kit is not rejecting Snow. He is protecting him. He wants to return only if the story is powerful enough. Only if it matters. only if it digs into pain, consequence, and the weight of destiny. That is the harsh take. He does not want a happy sequel. He wants the real one. But what does HBO think? HBO has said they have multiple Game of Thrones projects in development. House of the Dragon is doing well. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is coming soon. And Snow has been quietly sitting in the shadows. You can almost picture a raven perched on a frozen branch. Silent. Waiting. Kit said nothing is dead. Nothing is cancelled. It simply needs the right moment. The right team. The right passion. He said the idea is a living thing. Not frozen in the wall. Not buried under snow. Alive. Just not ready to face daylight. Fans have reacted the same way they always do with Jon Snow. Emotionally, there is something about this character that pulls people in. He is noble without being arrogant, strong without being cold, and broken in a very human way. Kit understands that. He said Jon would never escape his past. The free folk may accept him, but he does not accept himself. And that inner conflict is what he wants to explore. Not dragons. Not thrones. Identity. Who is Jon Snow when there is no war to fight? Who is Jon Snow when there is no queen to love? Who is Jon Snow when there is no destiny guiding his steps? That is where the sequel lives. Not in spectacle, but in soul. Kit said he is fascinated by characters who are struggling internally. Jon is the perfect study. His story has always been quiet outside, loud inside. He was raised as a bastard. He learned to fight for approval. He became a leader without wanting to. He died for loyalty. He returned because the world needed him. And in the end, he gave everything up. That type of life leaves scars. Kit said those scars are the story. When he talked about this, you could hear passion in his voice. This was not surface talk. This was deep. There is unfinished business. And Jon Snow is the man with that unfinished business. So where do we stand now? Kit has ideas. HBO has interest. But nothing moves until the story is perfect. That is his standard. Harsh. Demanding. Almost brutal. But that is how he sees it. And honestly, it makes sense. Game of Thrones cannot return unless it returns with excellence. The audience is not forgiving. The ending of the original series still has people arguing in comment sections like House Stark and House Lannister at a family reunion. Kit knows that. He respects that. And that respect is what makes his takes so refreshing. Let us wrap this up with one last thought. When an actor has spent 10 years inside a character, he does not speak casually about returning. Kit is not talking like a man who has moved on. He is talking like a man who has more to say but is waiting for the right time. That is the true mystery of Snow. It is not whether he will return. It is when, and how, and why. Thank you for watching.